everybody, and welcome back. My name's Laura Scott. I'm a partner and the Sydney office lead, and I'm joined today by two of my team members, Will and Max. And today we're going to be talking about managing your health and well-being while working in a high-pressure environment. So welcome, Max. Welcome, Will.
Thanks,
nice to have you here.
Thanks for having us.
So if we could, Will, first go to you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, a bit about your work history and how you got to be here at Adaptivate.
Sure. I've been at Adaptivate for roughly 2.5, 3 years. Mm-hmm. I've always been in professional services, so I worked for another consulting firm beforehand, and I'm a big fan of lots going on. So I love diversity of clients, diversity of projects, diversity of people. I love learning from really different people. Found out about Adaptivate working on a software build, and that was my introduction to the world of Agile. Did a bit of Googling, came across that famous piece on our website about chapters, and set up a call with Simi, and here I am a few years later.
Okay, great. And Max?
Nice, yeah, so I'm Max. I actually joined the exact same day as you, Will, so I think we're just over the 3-year mark. I'm a consultant. My background's a little bit different. I actually spent some time in the States. I was part of the Australian snowboard team. Trying for the Olympics, unfortunately that didn't pan out, so I switched gears and studied business over there. And then went into marketing and business development in New York City, which was a pretty wild ride and a lot of fun. Post that, came back, did my MBA here in Sydney, at University of Sydney, and that's how I actually found out about Adaptivate and then the wild world of what consulting is and professional services. Similar, had a meeting with PNC and Simi, and then ended up starting with Will. But
great.
Yeah, it's been a good ride.
It has. It's brilliant. You two are very much a core part of the Sydney team and Australian team. I'd like to talk a little bit about health. You're both extremely health conscious and focused as well, which is great. You're both working full-time on client. You've got a lot going on outside. Will, if we can start with you, how you're working 60, 70-hour weeks. You also play in a band, if you can give us a little bit of background there. How are you managing your health as well?
Spot on. I currently am in the thick of a pretty big project for a national FMCG retailer. For me, it's all about realizing that work-life balance is operates in ebbs and flows. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's not about crafting the perfect week, because I know weeks are going to change, but having some really core pillars that I try and adhere to and hit each week. So like you said, I'm a musician. Coming with that is a lot of late nights. But what I've come to understand is that energizes me for my work day. So connecting with other people in a different domain outside of work helps me compartmentalize my day. If I've had a really stressful day, I've got a stressful workshop the next day, it gives me space. Mm-hmm. But also understanding that, if you're going to work hard and play hard during the week, that the weekends are quite protected. So I like to have really not much in the calendar. Do play a bit of sport, but it's really about sleeping when I can, fueling myself with lunches, make lunch every day, which is a big part of getting through to the night. Realizing that there's going to be weeks where you're smashed and you don't need to go to the gym every day that week. Mm-hmm. But when it's cooled off a little bit, which it does in consulting, taking advantage of that.
And how are you making time during the week when you are absolutely flat out and then you've got a gig at night? How are you making time to actually recoup?
Yeah, it's just time blocking. Okay. That's been a big part in learning to manage my time here, is when you set a time, commit to it. Mm-hmm. So my diary is just full of blocks, different colors. I do my best to set out and achieve what I need to get done in that time. If I don't get it done in that time, I'll get to it later. But really making sure that your priorities are set for the day. Time blocking is a lot. I think, Laura, you told me ages ago, you can sometimes get done in 15 minutes what could take you 2 hours if you just set yourself a goal. Mm-hmm. So being really strict with myself about, hey, you've got half an hour, bang it out, move on.
Great. Yep. Yeah. Brilliant. And what about you, Max?
Yeah, I'm a little bit different again. I actually have to be really careful with my energy and health. When I was studying for my HSC, I got chronic fatigue off the back of glandular fever. So I've always had a pretty, I've had to focus a lot on maintaining energy and looking after my body to make sure that I can get through being an athlete originally and then studying and working in New York and then now being in consulting as well. And it was actually something that I was a bit scared about coming into consulting, because you hear a lot about the industry being pretty cutthroat, 10 p.m. Finishes, 8 a.m., 7 a.m. starts, and doing that week in, week out. So I had to be really careful coming in. I like to have a routine, so I do some kind of exercise every day. And I find if I don't do that exercise and have that protected time, that I just don't bring my full self to work. And then I struggle at work, I get behind, and then the cycle just negatively just repeats itself. So I like to really block out time in the morning to do some kind of exercise, whether it's going to the gym, run, swim, bike, whatever it might be. I'm a bit of a weirdo in that I'll look for a lot of weird little things that can kind of help boost my energy and bring my full self to work. So
you're not a weirdo, you're a researcher.
yeah. I'm a test subject, I guess. So I like to jump in the ice bath every morning. I have a cooling mattress on my bed. I have all these little things that I do just to get an extra few % out of myself in my athletic endeavors, as well as bringing myself to work. So I could talk for hours about kind of performance and what I do to try and bring my full self to work. But I've pretty much tried everything, I think.
Good. Good on you. We spoke about this in the car on the way to the client the other day, about how you set your alarm and you go, oh God, I really don't want to get up at 5:15, but you do it and you never regret it, right? Yeah. Even if you just get up and go for a walk. I was speaking to a client who was exceptionally tired this morning, and she said, I still got up and I still went for a walk, and you do feel better. So Max, you are an experimenter.
Yeah.
You've got a cooling mattress. You've got you bought your own ice bath. Is there one thing that you think, I need to do this every day, that you have experimented with? Food, exercise, lifestyle, that you find really works?
It's tough to pick one. I think there's 3 pillars for health that I usually look at. So the first one is sleep. So getting at least 8 hours of sleep.
Whoa.
Sorry, trying for 8 hours, getting at least 7. We'll put it there. And trying to be really consistent with when you go to bed and when you wake up. I found that's super important with your circadian cycle and your body clock and stuff. The second one is what you eat. So being very focused on getting the right kind of nutrients and eating consistently well. And then the third one is that exercise piece we spoke about. So the endorphins and everything that comes along with moving your body and getting that heart rate up and getting all of that going within the body is kind of my 3 pillars I live by. And then trying to optimize within each of those is what I do. So it's a bit hard to pick one. So I'll go with 3.
Okay, great. And let's talk about fun. So very focused on health, very focused on work, both of you. You're both absolutely smashing it. How do you go and have fun? And is it a core pillar for you to make sure that you're having fun each week, or is it a bonus?
For sure. I probably could have put that in some kind of social interaction. So hanging out with my friends and family and team, of course, you guys is probably a big one as well. Spending some time with my partner and my family, and then on the weekends I like to go play golf with a bunch of good mates, and you can just let your hair down and have a casual chat, and that social interaction is good. And then at work we have, through Social Club, we do a lot of stuff as well. Right now we've got the NRL. Tipping is pretty hot. There's a lot of back and forth. Bill and I were texting last night about it, actually. Some upsets and some really good conversation around the office about that.
We have a lot of passion, don't we?
We do, a lot of passion. And then things like just going bowling with the team or having a drink after work here is always pretty good, just to decompress a little bit and connect with the team.
Yeah, great. And Will, what about you?
Yeah, I think I can wrap up my view for your last 2 questions in one. It's, maybe not as regimented, dedicated, and as scientific as Max, but one thing that helps me is just applying a mindset of like, pinch yourself, I get to do this. Like I get to train in the mornings. I feel really good when I do it. I get to play gigs in front of people across Sydney. I get to be trusted to go to a client and like form part of their team for 6 months. And that I notice has really helped me when you're feeling suboptimal. You don't want to get up. It was raining this morning. I didn't really want to squat, but like I got to do it. Like some people
Good
I
on
talk
you.
to at work are like, yeah, like, oh, I wish I could play football. Like, I wish I could get to do those things. And so often for me, it's just a mindset shift of, yeah, I'm like, everyone's tired. Like, I don't have kids. Like, there's a lot of things people are dealing with, which I think like Max and I are in the position at the moment where like we can do those things, and just viewing it a little bit differently, shifting your mindset. Yeah, for me, makes the biggest difference because you're still going to feel tired. You're still going to feel undercooked, but yeah, it's like I get to do it.
Have you always thought like that, or was that something that you developed?
It's definitely something I had to develop because you fail. 100% you fail. Like you're not consistent. You got to find what works for you, and for you, it's like this amazing like Max is wearing a Whoop. Max has got a Garmin, like data-driven approach, and that really works for me. It's more realizing that I'm not going to be perfect. I hate to see my Whoop sleep readout, but it's just like, hey, get up, do it. Like you will feel better, and I just sort of like let that compound over time. Yeah,
I had to do the same. So, mom of 3 kids. I live really far away.
Yeah,
and we come into the city every day, and I needed to make time to actually get stronger. And I've joined a gym, and I'm doing only personal training now because I know that I'm not going to show up just for myself, but I'm going to show up if somebody's waiting there. And so it is Emma and Phil that get me out of bed to go, we're waiting for you, and if you don't come, why isn't Laura here? And it's working, so it's good.
And it's probably being very effective with the time you spend in the gym. It's targeted, you know what you're doing, you're not fuddling around, does this work? So that's probably...
Yeah. So you two are the presidents of the social club at Adaptivate for Australia.
Promotion.
Self-appointed.
Absolutely. I'd love you to talk us through some of the events or things that you're doing to support the rest of the team, from health and wellbeing, fun. What's your thinking there? Because you don't just come with a roadmap of, we just want to go to the pub and bowling. You actually really have a really nice roadmap of health, wellbeing, bringing everybody together for education. What's your thinking behind it?
I guess my perspective on it is, and we've spoken a bit about this, Laura, is the good thing about Adaptivate is such a small company. So you can kind of run with whatever ideas you want, as long as we run them past you, but we have the freedom to do that and propose things. We started book club. We have a run club every Friday. We go for an hour run at lunchtime. The footy tipping that we mentioned earlier, which brings out a lot of passion from people. And then we've had speakers in to come and talk about networking and different things. So it's been really great, and it's allowed Will and I to kind of put our heads together and explore and chase things that we're passionate about and that we want to share with the rest of the group. So I think it's been great. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the only thing to add is we've been given freedom to consider the dimensions of what makes a social club. I think coming from professional services, it can be quite archaic in that social club is drinks.
Yeah, and truly.
We've found here that like there are some people where that fills their bucket. That's awesome. They live for that. But there's a whole other like spectrum of activities that we could do in work time, whether it's run club or if it's involving like external speakers. So we've been given the rope to involve a whole host of ideas, and just being empowered to suggest it. And it gets shot down sometimes, but other times like, hey, run with it. So I feel like it's broadening the view of like, everyone's bucket is different. How can we sort of fill that each month or over a quarter and do something different? Yep.
And you've both done a great job. And I do as well love that it's not just about drinking, that you have brought the really all-round view that everybody gets something out of it. So well done. Will and Max, thank you very much for both joining. It's really nice to see, we've got really passionate young guys at the forefront of health and well-being, and I think you can really teach a lot of the members of Adaptivate, young and old certainly. I always take advice from you guys, so really appreciate what you do for our team and for joining me today. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Laura.
Yeah, thank you, Laura.
Thanks everybody, and we will see you again next time.